You're talking science. I don't do science.
That was proper Welsh. That was brilliant. That would just be the little clip at the start start of the show. Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Leighton. On this episode, we speak to Chris from Log Finco.
Yes, and before we get into this episode is sponsored by Cosin. Cosin are a clothing brand from the southwest, and Cosin is the Cornish word for good friends.
Yep, they got some sick designs and great vibes on their website, so head over and check out their website.
Yeah, Cosin also give a percentage of their profits back to local communities and clubs, donating to a skate club, for example.
Yeah, we can't recommend them enough. We've had some cool shirts from them. We really like them. So if you head over to them, and you can get 10% off your order by using the discount code UKSurf10.
Yeah. So, on to this episode with Mr. Logfin himself.
Yeah, sent us some beautiful fins. They've worked on our boards really well. You'll hear us talking about him on this episode. He was just a great guy.
Yeah.
We kind of connected to him quite well, didn't we? We
just laughed all the way through.
Yeah.
To be honest, we laughed all the way through, and then it got a bit serious towards the end, which is quite a nice experience. It's not a nice experience, but it's quite nice to be open to what we talk about at the end.
Yeah, because when he comes on, he seems really happy and bubbly, and really, really lovely guy. And then he kind of says some of the struggles that he's been through, and it was like, wow, mental health can even affect somebody as positive as this guy, you know?
Yeah. So it's really good, interesting conversation. A lot of information about fins, a lot of laughing as well. So if you get pissed off at us laughing, you may as well just turn it off now. At the end of the show, don't forget to listen, because we have a discount code for Northcore and we have a discount code for Log Finco as well. So here we go.
Hi everybody, I'm Chris and I am the owner of Log Finco. We stock longboard fins and mid-length fins.
And we have recently received some of your fins, and just before we hit records tonight, we were chatting about it. And so I surfed your fins at the Wave on the weekend, and it was probably one of the best surfs I've ever had. And, you know, with our new boards as well, I think your fins are complementing the new board, and I just felt more in control of that board than I ever have on any other board before. And it's going to sound a bit weird, but it's like the board behaved. It was like it was a bit obedient, you know. It's like, okay, I'll do that. Yeah,
yeah, because you were running the Volan one as well, weren't you? So the bottle green one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. Beautiful thing as well. It matched my board perfectly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Because you got the Volan lap on it, did you?
It was. Is it an all-rounder fin? Isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
All-rounder Caton.
It's the George Greenow. It's called.
That's the one.
The 4A. Yeah. It's one of the most popular fins in the world, I think. Or one of.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for that, though.
Well, I know. I before you sent it, someone else I was chatting to was saying about that fin and saying it's an amazing fin. And I've got the red one. Obviously, matches in with my board, and Leighton's got the greeny one, a greeny blue one that matches in with his board. And I noticed, because I've got the quick release lock on my fin.
Yeah.
So when I was out in the water, I had it pushed back first of all, and I looked at it and I was thinking, that's pushed back, and the rake is so much on it that it's poking out behind the board, if you get what I mean. So it was coming out longer than the board, so I shoved the fin right to the front. That's it. And it behaved so much better. Yeah, it was just really responsive.
It comes alive, doesn't it? The further forward you push the fin in the box, the more, the looser it is, then they call it. So, and then if you want more stability, you send it back a little more, to have a bit more of an arc in your turn and stuff like that. So, you can play with fins in that way as well. It's not just what sort of rake they've got, what area, and just, flex and stuff like that as well.
So, one of the most important questions, does size matter?
Depends who you ask. Your wife, yes.
You're in private chat, haven't you?
Yeah. I hope you can swim.
Knows you well.
Size. It all, like the general rule of with longboards especially. It's so say if you got a 9-foot longboard, you really pair it with a 9-inch fin. But that being said, you can go bigger. Never be afraid to go bigger. You know,
right.
I know you're ready to laugh, but
I'm holding it in. So
I know
much.
you are. Yeah,
There's so many lines running through Pete's head right now.
yeah. Because I have a 9/8 longboard and I run an 11-inch fin in it, and even it's a pivot fin as well, so it's really alive. You know what I mean? It's what you want it to be, really. You know, it all depends on your size and weight as well. You know.
Yeah. So say if like we've got people listening out there who've got a longboard or are getting into longboarding, and they want to get a fin, but they don't know what it's going to do from the smaller, like I think the smallest one's 6 or 7 inches, isn't it? You've got on
that's it
on your site, and then to like 10, 11, whatever. I don't know what it goes up to, 10 or 11, isn't it?
11. Yeah, we do up to 11 inches.
So. Is there a way? Can you explain what different sizes and shapes do for fins and for manoeuvre of the board?
Yeah, so you know, if you're talking sort of 6 to 8 inches, you really want to use that as a 2+1. So you have a center fin and then 2 side bites, 2 smaller fins either side of that single fin. That's for, you know, like mid-length and stuff like that. But you can always run like a single fin in a mid-length as well. You know, if you're into that sort of skatey loose feel, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And then we go all the way up to like 11 inches. But then it depends on obviously the rake and the sweep of the fin as well. So you've got sort of pivot fins, you've got flex fins and all round fins, you know what I mean?
So what I was thinking is, can you explain what individual ones you just said then do for people out there who don't know what fins do? You know, they might be going to buy a fin and going, what the hell do I buy?
Yeah, it's quite a minefield, to be fair.
It is.
You know, and like I tried to write a fin guide on the website and I just can't get what's in my head out sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so I just you know, the basics are whatever size board you're using, the same sort of size fin, and then you can go for like the pivot fin then, which is your typical sort of nose riding fin, and like it says, it pivots because you know the angle of the fin is more upright. So
I see. So it's sticking out of the bottom of the board straighter than right.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. Yeah. Whereas a more sweep would give you a wider turning angle as well. You know what I mean?
So, I see. Yeah. So if you've got quite a large rake, that relates to that arc that you were talking about earlier. Like you can do a big sweeping arc.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So like more drawn out curves and stuff like that. And you get a lot more stability as well if there is more rake, you know what I mean? Whereas the less rake will give you a more sensitive ride and a lot tighter turning circle.
I can see me spending a lot of money on fins.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
So what about the flex fin that you said? Is that one that will flex and like load up with power as you come out of a turn?
Yeah, exactly. So it's, a stiffer fin will be a lot more sensitive and quicker response. Whereas a less stiffer fin then, so more flexible, will be more delayed, but it will increase your drive and projection out of the turn. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So
as you like turn in, it loads up.
That's it. Yeah. So then, as soon as you come off it, it'll sort of project you that way, rather than the pivot where it's literally a pivot. You're turning the back of the board, and it's more of a trim, but you know what I mean, trimming up and down the pivot. Whereas the flex is more performance-y and. Yeah, but they're so good. They're such fun flex fins as well. They really do have their place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I think with a flex fin, the only place it would be driving me is face first into the water every time. you know when you get that slap when you hit it so hard, it like peels your eyes open. You've got to check your ass because you're not sure if you split it or not or something like that.
Your balls have been launched into your stomach.
Oh man, it's
I've had that a few times. Yeah. yeah.
So would you use a flex fin on, like, is there like a certain size of board or length of board which is best to use that on? Would that be like towards the, like a mid-length?
Yeah, you could use it in mid length. You can use it on longboards as well. I would recommend them more in sort of a pintail rather than like a square tail, because with a flex fin, you use the rails a lot more on the board, whereas with a square tail, you use more of the fin. So yeah, does that make sense at all?
Yeah, that makes really good sense.
So we could ride.
You could
flex
ride
fins on the boards that we got.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. You know, it's don't just. I'd personally say don't limit yourself to one fin. You know, if
you would say that.
No.
The owner of a fin company.
Yeah, isn't it just? Yeah, I'm really not a salesman. That's the problem. It's probably given away more fins than I've sold. Please like me, everybody.
In your own, like, kind of, would you call it a quiver as well for fins? Would it still be a quiver, like a quiver of boards?
I suppose it's a collection, is it? A collection.
Yeah, a collection, or I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah.
Let's not dwell on it, and let's just call it a collection of fins.
In your collection of fins, like your personal ones, not that I know you probably have loads that you sell, obviously, but just your own personal ones. How many do you have?
I probably have. Well, after starting this company as well, I probably have, I must have 10 or 12 fins.
Yeah, and you use each one like regularly, and you're always flicking between them.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it depends on the size of the waves as well and stuff like that. So, you know, if it's really heavy, you'd go for like your mid length, and you'd have like a thruster setup then. So you'd have a 2+1, you know, or like if you're on a point or something like that, you get a really nice flex fin in your pintail, and that'll really bring the board to life. You know what I mean? You can cut back a lot quicker and stuff like that as well. I was going to say, because when you're saying like mid length, there, I've got it's mid length 7.6 torque board. Yeah.
Struggled like mad to try and find a larger fin for that.
Oh, really?
I couldn't. I can't remember what the bloody system is they call it, where it like locks into the front and you push it down and you put a little grub screw in it. It's a bit like the
Futures.
Yeah, a little bit like the Futures, but it's slightly different, I think. But for ages I couldn't find
an actual fin for it.
Do you know what I could do? I could just ask Dom to cut me a box into there.
You could, yeah.
Yes.
I just do that. I just answer my own questions. That's all right. Right, I don't need you anymore. Bye.
Brilliant.
Oh, man. So, how did you start up Log Finco then? What possessed you to start up a fin company?
It was COVID, actually. You know.
Oh, amazing! So it's another COVID-born surfer company, which is great because we were born in COVID as well.
Yeah,
and most of the people we speak to are surfers wanting to do something, and it's almost like they had the time to start it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. You know, it's given us time to reflect on a lot of things. To be honest, and yeah, it was one of those things where I had no help from the government or anything like that. So I was like, I'm gonna do something about it. You know, rather than sit there in your own pity party sort of thing. So I thought I asked a few of the other lads as well that I surf with a lot, and two of them are my ambassadors at the moment. And I just said, I'm thinking of starting this, to represent mid Wales more than anything. And they were like, yeah, just go for it. And I said, literally, I've got nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. Obviously, a little bit of money went into it, but I thought, well, I'm going to have one hell of a fin collection if I don't sell any. Yeah, which they were quite jealous about. But yeah, so I just thought I'd give it a go, you know, and I taught myself how to build websites and stuff like that, and I did my own logos and stuff. So I just thought, I'd just jump in 2 feet first, and it's snowballing effect, that's for sure. It is going really well. Your website's really clean, actually, really clean and crisp. I was just on it earlier and like looking around. Yeah.
But you're clearly gaining traction because when I surfed at the Wave on the weekend and we put out on social media that we were there, and I think I tagged you in on saying like surfing the Log Finco fin for the second time, I think.
Yeah.
And another girl in the same session was also surfing a log fin, which is,
and it's exactly the same fin you were.
Oh really? Oh, you know the fin as well.
Yeah,
then?
it was a 9.75 inch Roland. True.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah,
do you know the only difference? She was really good.
Yeah, I hold my hands up. Yeah, she was amazing.
Erica, that's it. Erica,
yeah,
she's sound really nice, really good surfer as well.
Yeah, she was nose riding everything. Totally blew everybody away on that session.
Yeah, she's been learning to nose ride for a year now, and so I thought I'd reach out to her and say, would you, this? I think this will help your journey, and she was so grateful for it, and she's really ripping now.
Yeah,
really
she was running up and down the board. Like, there was no cross step. It was a cross run. It was like it's one of those people you watch, and she was moving so fluidly and so like gracefully. It just looked effortless.
Yeah,
and
when somebody's good when they make it look easy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then everyone goes, "Oh, I could do that," and then you see them do it, and it's like, it's not as easy as you think.
No,
going forward, one thing; going backwards is a complete different ball game. That is.
Yeah.
No, my cross step game is cross step full or cross step off the back.
Oh that's it. Yeah.
Like I tell you, the amount of stupid things I've nearly done and knocked myself out on the board because like forgetting like now I've got like this massive 9.6 longboard. And I'm trying things now that I hadn't tried on my old one.
Right.
So like I'm trying like cross steps that are like, I'm going more advanced and stuff like that and like moving quicker or moving different and the board's moving different. And I could try and cross step and like the board zipped out from underneath me and the back of my head must have missed the board by millimeters.
Yeah.
It scared the crap out of me.
I bet it did. Yeah.
Well, I did it again straight away, obviously. But it's one of those. It's just
it's persistent. You have to just keep persisting at it, and just keep going. And one day it will just click.
I tell you what, a good thing. I put a video on Instagram of it, and so many people offered advice of that just from looking at the thing, they're just like, you just need to lean forwards, you got to lean forwards over your body more, and doing that really helps. So it's helped,
that's it.
helped massively.
And just use the back foot as like an anchor point as well. So when you cross over, you're only on one foot rather than hopping over. You know what I mean? So you're not wobbling the board.
Yeah, you're not. That's because that's the thing. When you see people cross step, it almost looks as if they hop forwards really quickly.
Exactly.
But you're in. If you do that, you're sort of in midair and you're off the board completely, aren't you?
Yeah,
I suppose you never want to be off the board.
No. You always want something touching the board. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, your nose rider fins. What would be the difference between that then? And is it possible to nose ride on the fins that you sent us, like the all rounder?
Yeah, so the all rounder is, as it says, you can definitely get on the nose of that, but with sort of a pivot nose rider, it's got more of a surface area, so basically it grips the water more.
Oh, I see. Right.
So as soon as you walk to the nose, it will sort of grip the back of the board and stick it to the wave face. You know what I mean? But then you've got to get in the right wave and set the board up ready to walk as well. It's not just a simple.
No, that's really difficult to do.
That's it. You've got to read the wave before it's actually happened.
That's one of the things where, like, obviously we're further inland. So, well, I'd say we're by the coast, but I'd say we're inland surfers because our beach
we're not on
isn't
a surf break,
surf break. But it's one of those things, like, what did we have? It must have been about 6 weeks out of the ocean, really, like properly. And you lose that ability to read the waves so quickly. I think you lose that quicker than your fitness, actually.
I think you're right, yeah.
We went down to Saunton after work.
Last Wednesday?
Yeah, last Wednesday, as time of recording. And it was the first time we tried your fins there, but we had such a shocking surf that we couldn't really tell how your fins were working. Just because we didn't really spend much time on the fucking boards, did we? But when we were down there, and because we were getting quite good at reading the sea and knowing where you need to be, especially for our longboards, like everything's starting to get like dialed in.
Yeah.
And we're sat in the sea, and Pete's chatting to a local girl who's out surfing as well. And all of a sudden, I think you said like her ears pricked up.
It's like a bloody a cocker spaniel or something. And she just went like, what was that? Like, and she's like, oh, there's a set coming, and paddled off. And I was
She's
like,
off, yeah.
This fuck all. It's flat. Where are you going? And then all of a sudden she's riding this wave in. I was like, bloody hell.
Yeah. She obviously knows more than
saw
you
something.
guys.
Yeah, well, there's 95% of the population just covered there with that. So, yeah, it's like, she saw something. I was like, what? I was looking the same direction. I couldn't see anything. I was like, what have you seen that I haven't seen?
But she was a longboarder as well, wasn't she? So I don't know if it's maybe as a longboarder you might read the sea a little bit different because you can get the wave earlier, can't you?
Definitely, You'll see a sort of ripple come towards you, and you see a little shadow. You think, that would go. You know what I mean? So you turn around. And then you see all the shortboarders like paddling their asses off as well, like full on paddle, and you're on the wave miles before they are. It's you don't really want to piss them off too much, obviously. The sea's everybody's to play in. You know what I mean? It's because I used to shortboard myself, but it got to the point where a friend of mine just said, "Oh, have a go on the longboards." So I had a go, and I haven't ridden a shortboard now for. Must be 4 or 5 years.
Really? That's interesting.
I know one of our ambassadors, he loves to switch boards up. So he's got like a mini Simmons. He's got some epic vintage boards and stuff like that he wants to get watertight and ride. But he can switch boards like anything. He's just amped to be in the water, to be honest with you. He is literally
like that, don't you?
Yeah, I know. He's naturally fit as well. You know when you take, he's putting his wetsuit on, you're like, Jesus Christ. Like, I look at myself and I look like a fucking penguin. And he's there like a fucking Greek Adonis. Yeah. And you know who you are, mate. Jesus. Yeah.
And he's like that. What have you been doing training, mate? Oh, nothing. I've had a really bad week, actually. I've been down the pub a few days and everything like that. Right. And you're like, you still look like that.
Oh, mate. But here's like warm up. Oh, I've just cycled 50 miles. It's like, right, okay, cool. And I just literally, and that's before I've even got out of bed. It's like, really, mate? I've just done a 50 miler. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, I've just gone for a shit.
we have that with our mate Ollie that we go with, and he's like, but next time we go down to Saunton, actually, I might chuck my bike in the back, and after a surf, I'll cycle home.
That's 100 miles.
You can't go the motorway, so you've got to go all the like A roads. So it's like a 100-mile cycle, and it's like.
Jesus.
You want to do that after a surf? I'm lucky to not fall asleep on the motorway after a surf. It's like the amount of times I've had to pull over. I feel like I'm a bit tired now.
Anther's exactly the same. He's talking in Cocker Spaniels. If he dies and becomes a dog, he'd be a Cocker Spaniel because he's just one of them. He's always happy. You know what I mean? But you feed off people like that. I find I do.
Yeah.
He's in the water. He's just bloody amped, and it gets you going. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he's
they're the best surfs, aren't they? When you've got the people that are all amped to be in the water, they're all happy. Everyone's getting on, and it doesn't matter if the waves are 2 foot or 6 foot or whatever. As long as everyone's happy and getting on, they're the best sessions.
Oh, without a doubt. And I've got some stories about him as well. They're hilarious.
Go.
I'll tell you one then. So we were in the water one day, and it was quite a good day, and I caught a wave in, but I don't think he realised I'd caught a wave in, and he turned round to this. Well, he did. He thought it was me, and he goes, "I've just pissed in my wetsuit," and then he realised, shit, Chris has got tits. It was this French girl. she literally looked at him and paddled in.
I thought she was going to go, yeah, me too.
So he just shouts things like that out. And like, like you're going for a wave or something, and you go do, and you're like, "What are you doing?" You know, because as soon as you start laughing, the power goes from you, completely gone. You know, and we'll shout at each other like, "Oh my god, this is the best wave of your life" and stuff like that. And just we just try to put each other off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we do that quite a bit actually as well.
Pull on each other's leashes.
Normally, me
that.
shouting like the Rocky one where you're gonna do it.
Mind the water. You're about to say.
Yeah, mind the water. The other one. So from years ago, I think what did we used to play on the PlayStation? It was like Tiger Woods or something.
Tiger Woods golf game. Yeah,
so when we were younger, we were playing that, and there was like, there was waters on the golf course bit, and it was like when you take a shot, so you're just about to hit the button, and someone would go, mind the water, and you go, oh fuck, and like mess the shot up, and that became a thing then in general. So you'd go to do something which is like either dangerous or you've really got to concentrate, and one of your mates would just go, mind the water, and you'd be like that. Oh, you prick!
But the thing is, head, isn't it?
Yeah. But it started to get really serious. So if you were like, say, you had to go to the hospital for a checkup on something, and your mate would go, mind the water, and you go, are you fucking serious?
What?
like, are you actually joking? That's awful. That's awful really human being.
Really
you can't see him just glaring at me through this.
That's quite harsh, actually, isn't it?
It is harsh.
What can you do?
No, what can you do?
So what? When you made the transition from the shortboard to the longboard, like how did you find it? There must be a reason why you've thought, oh, that's it, I'm sticking with longboarding. Like, what was that?
It was just the whole wave count to start with, because where we surf, the waves are quite slack, so they're not powerful because obviously we're blocked by island. So we don't get that raw power from like Devon and Cornwall do, or like the northeastern Scotland and stuff like that. So what we have is like your wave count isn't massive if you're on a shortboard. So I thought I'd start with an 8-footer, and my wave count must have tripled, and from then on I was like, this makes sense now. For where we are, it makes sense to stick to a longboard, really.
Yeah, that's once your wave count goes up, you then get a better surfer, don't you? Because you're surfing more.
Exactly, your froth level goes out the roof, don't they? It's like and then and it just manifests in your brain. Then it's like, all right, so I've gone 8 foot. So the next step was a 9'8" then, and it was like it just completely. It's like a boat. You know what I mean?
Oh, 9'8". Ours is 9'6", and it feels huge. But so 9'8". I mean, I think we think of it like you, like going bigger is better. Where a lot of people, a lot of surfers are, go smaller. But I like the thought of a 9'8" board.
Well, I've got a 10 foot on order at the moment. So
amazing!
Yeah, so I cannot wait to try it out as well. So that'll be interesting, definitely. Because my surname is Nelson as well, so they call me Admiral Nelson in the water because whenever I turn around, you're gonna know. This massive lump of bloody fiberglass and just swinging round. You know what I mean?
It's nothing to do with Island blocking you. It's your board blocking everything. Like going back to what you were saying then, though, like you were shortboarding and then your wave count went up. There's so many people that you see in the water on shortboards, and you see them paddling like mad, and they missing everything, and you just want to say, look, just get a bigger board.
Yeah, or try my board. Give it one. Just get one wave on it and see how you feel. Because basically on a longboard, you're surfing a lot faster than you would on a shortboard. Because you've caught the wave so much earlier as well. And then you've got. It's not about just catching waves though. You can walk the nose. You can do all sorts on a longboard. It's not just standing there and trying to look cool. You know what I mean?
No. If you're as fat as me, you can sink the nose as well.
Oh wow, Fibley, that's quite an effort, that is, mate. Yeah, I'd be proud of that one.
But on a longboard, it's also those large arcs that you can do. There's something nice about just carving the wave gently, isn't there? It's not like you're shredding it up. It just feels.
Well, I don't know if you look at the Surfing England competition that was at the weekend.
Yeah.
And you see like Ben Skinner and Ashley Broughton and all that lot, like,
well, yeah,
absolutely ripping on a longboard.
Well, he can make a longboard go vertical. Like, how do you do that?
How do you do that? It's
it's just, that's just experience and just talent, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just, it's more performance then, isn't it? So their rails are a lot sharper and stuff like that, is my guess. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
So what about your surfing? So whereabouts in Wales are you?
So I'm near Aberystwyth. So
right.
Yeah, so I surf locally there, really. So up the road, sort of in the Cardigan Bay, basically. Yeah, it's a really nice part of the world, to be honest with you.
I was up that way a couple of years ago, a couple of weeks ago, actually, on holiday, and it was absolutely beautiful. And the main thing is, it was really quiet as well.
Yeah, really quiet. It's
not going to be now.
No, it's not going to be now. Yeah, sorry everybody. I surf Scotland. No.
I mean, I've stayed on the west coast of Wales there quite a bit, and I've stayed not far from Newquay which isn't Newquay in Cornwall. You say to people there's a Newquay in Wales, and they're like, what is there? But it's like New Key.
It's two words, isn't it? Yeah, that's it.
So, I've stayed near there, and some of the local, but like I think I've been to every bay more or less from Aberystwyth to the Gower, and there's some absolutely cracking bays. If you've got to search them out and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely, There's so many bays. It's and you've got to hit it at the right times and right tides and stuff. You can't just. It's one of those where you can't just turn up and go, "Oh, it's not working." But whereas, you get it on the right day, you're like, "Oh my god!" And it's only you guys in.
Yeah, when you and I were chatting before, we were chatting about some places that obviously you hadn't told me, but I knew of that were down there, and you were like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, so, the worst kept secrets.
The worst kept secrets. Yeah. But I was driving, as I said before, I was driving down this road, and it was just barreling to the side of me, like at the same speed as I was driving down the road. It's just ridiculously insane.
And it does run really fast here as well. That's another thing I've noticed. Whereas I've surfed like up in Scarborough, in North Bay, and stuff like that. Whereas you have to do cutbacks to sort of go back to the pocket, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas
you're going too fast for the wave.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Whereas here, you can't go too fast, really. You have a few days, like yesterday I went in and it was really slack, you know what I mean? It was only thigh high, but you just had to feather it, sort of thing. But even then, it was still peeling quite quickly.
Yeah, and it's still fun, isn't it? Especially when you're on a longboard and something like that. Because as soon as that board is engaged and you're up on it, it's like nothing's going to stop it, is it? It just seems to lock into the wave.
Yeah,
exactly. And you can just rock it along the thing. I think there was somebody online, somebody we follow online, who they had a watch. It gave them their miles per hour on the watch, and they were going like 23 miles an hour on the wave.
Friction burns off the front of the wave on your face.
You imagine getting one of those boards in the face at 23 miles an hour.
You'd know. Well, ask Pete. He knows what that is. That's what happened to his face, is it?
Professor Snape. That's his own board. Professor Snape.
Start that. Like, fucking everybody's going to be saying that now.
Honestly, when we went surfing at Saunton last week, he come up from a wave. And I don't think he knew he was out of the water because he couldn't see anything. He's still holding his breath. I'm like, Pete, you're up out the water.
Right? He looked at me and he went, "You need to get your fucking hair cut." Like, Jesus Christ, jealousy will get you nowhere, man.
Oh, that's gold, And was he still flapping as well?
Yeah, I mean, like the hair's in his mouth, pretty much.
Jesus, man, get a grip, mate. So it's my fault.
I'm going home. Taking my ball and I'm going home. Well, anyway, enough about taking the piss out of me. So
much fun, though.
Yeah, it's because it's normally you.
The problem is it's quite easy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I don't make it difficult for people. But anyway, back to the surfing. So...
So what type of board do you normally ride? Like what's your go-to longboard?
At the moment, it's that the 9.8. I've got a nose rider basically. So it's like the Yeah, I must have surfed that. I've surfed it for 4 years now, solid.
And what fin would you select to go with that on like just like a normal average day where you are?
I tend to go for the pivot, to be honest with you, like
Right. Okay.
11-inch or 10.5-inch pivot.
Yeah.
Like, but then if I'm at the point, then I've got a really good it's called a CJ Nelson outlier, and I run a 10.5-inch flex fin in that, and it comes alive then, on a point.
Yeah, so if you have a longer fin on a shorter board, then what would be the difference for that?
Obviously, you're going to have it's going to be a bit stiffer, isn't it? You're not going to be able to turn it as much. But then, like I said at the start, when you move the fin upwards towards the nose in the fin box, it completely changes it anyway. So as long as you've got that flex in it and stuff like that, you're still going to absolutely you could tear shreds out of the water easy.
Yeah.
It all depends on your ability as well. I'm not saying I'm nowhere near a great surfer or a professional, nothing like that. So everything I say could be complete bullshit. I'm just talking out my ass.
I just found some fins that I could buy off this bloke for 20 quid a fin, so I'm just selling them online.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah.
So I get the feeling like you've just got to kind of get some fins, and you can like tweak your own experience on the board. You can be like, I'll get this flex fin slightly bigger, move it to the front of the box, see how that goes, and then find the one that it kind of suits you best.
Do you know what you should do? Do you know what you should do? You should do fin hire, so people can try them out.
Yeah, I know. It's really weird you say that. A few people have mentioned that,
because I know it's a thing a lot of people talk about with fins, especially longboards, and they're like, well, what fin? And you're talking to people, well, what does that do? Well, what does that feel like? Unless someone's out there with that fin and they can go, try it on your board or try my board, but then you're not on your own board, And,
no, that's it. Yeah. And the thing is, everybody's style is different, and obviously everybody's physical ability and their weight, and it all adds up. You know what I mean? It's not just a straight cut. Oh, get a pivot fin, and that's it.
Yeah.
You've got to consider what shape board you've got. It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah, when we were chatting to when we were chatting to Dom, when we had our board shaped, right? And we did anatomy of a surfboard episode, and we're chatting to him about that. When we moved on to fins, he's just like, fins is just like a totally separate episode. There's so much involved with fins, and so like this whole episode's talking to you, and that's just about fins for longboards as well. Exactly. So when it moves into the other stuff, it goes even into more in depth. So
because you got foils and stuff then as well. The foils.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you're talking science. I don't do science.
That was proper Welsh. That was brilliant. That would just be the little clip at the start start of the show. You're talking science.
See those two houses there? Mine's the one in the middle.
I thought you were going to go for all of them then. You're reading that paper you're sat on.
So when we I went on holiday a couple of weeks ago, like I mentioned, to Wales, and we went whitewater rafting. And it's where you saying that just reminded me of the instructor that was like in charge of the raft. So we're going down this river, and he said, "Oh, right, this is a particularly interesting spot of the river. It's something like major to do with the ecological system up here." And we're like, "Oh, right, yeah." And he said, "Yeah, you see all the moss on the trees." And we're like, he goes, "I don't know, it's got something to do with that." And I thought he was going to go into some real depth of this interesting topic. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, that's gold.
Like my wife's dad's like Welsh, and he's proper like Valley's Welsh, and he mumbles as well when he talks. So like for the first 6 years of meeting him, I didn't know what the fuck he was saying.
You're probably like, oh God, he hates me. He really hates me, doesn't he?
He'd just go like, "All right, Peter." And I said, "Oh, you're going now then, yeah?" And I'm like, "What? What'd you say?" And I'm like, go around now then. You have to do that then. I don't know. I was like, "What?" It's like that sort of stuff. I get it now. And he says, he'll say bye to me, but he doesn't say bye. He says, see you around, like a donut.
Yeah.
What are you on about? All right, then. It's just stuff like that. But the stuff he comes out with, I'm like, oh my God.
I'm definitely using "see you around like a donut." That's just amazing.
Oh, gold.
Yeah. So when did you start surfing then yourself?
Well, it must be nearing 10 years ago now. So I started quite late in life, really.
So do you want to divulge your age or is that just...
I'm 34, believe it or not.
Fucking quite old, Jesus
Christ. Yeah.
But not as old as us. You actually sound a lot younger than that.
Do you want to hear something really bad then? If I actually shave, I get ID for paracetamol.
I tell you what, when you reach 40, you'll be happy about that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. No. I got ID'd the other night because we went out for drinks, and I actually got ID'd to go into a bar, and because I had a mask on. So,
man, mate, when you reach 40, you'll just be fucking happy you woke up in the morning.
Oh, really? Yeah. What, with an erection or not?
Oh man, I can top that. Once I got ID'd for milk.
How can you get ID'd for milk?
You were there.
I still don't know how you got ID for milk.
So
it was Leighton behind the till.
I was buying some milk, and a mate of mine was in front of me buying some alcohol, and he went through, and she's like, "Have you got any ID?" I'm like, "For milk?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I'm buying milk." She's like, "Yeah, but you're with him." And I'm like, "Yeah." Well, he's bought alcohol, and I'm like, "Yeah, he's already bought the alcohol, though." What are you going to do now? Take it back and give him a refund? Like, yeah, I got ID for milk.
Whoa, that's some heavy stuff.
So, it's the good stuff, though, well, blue top.
Whoa. Yeah, the harsh one.
Someone's earning, aren't they? Oh, man, alive.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, what's the future for Log Finco? Where do you see it going? And have you got any plans that you can tell us about?
To be honest with you, I just make it up as I go along. No, I'm joking. I am joking.
It's a bit like, I was going to say that's a bit like us, but no, we don't do that either.
No,
God, sorry, as you were saying.
You just go with the flow, don't you? It's take its natural course, and I try not to plug it too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As like a hard sale, I'm not that sort of person at all. I'd rather people come to me or have a chat with me about fins and stuff, and then naturally it progresses into like a sale or whatever. It's, there's no pressure from me whatsoever. If you want a fin, just please come to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm more than happy to give advice and stuff.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. If people out there want to know about fins, or they want to buy a decent fin, they've got a decent longboard, or they've got a shit longboard, but they want a decent fin, and they want that advice, that they can approach you and say what this is what I'm into, this is what I want to do. So what's the best way for them to get in contact with you that way? Usually
Instagram. I get a lot of people on Instagram just ask, "Oh, look, I'm getting this board. What fin would you recommend?" And then, I can give them a few options then, and usually it works out. And I always ask, let me know how you get on with it. And then they give me feedback, and, basically every time it's like, oh, thanks so much for all your help and stuff. That's where I get my reward from, because anything I make from this company, I put it straight back into it. Yeah. I don't live off it at all. I literally live off beans.
What do you do in your other time then, in your other life job?
I bloody renovate. I'm renovating a bungalow at the moment.
Are you?
Yeah, so at the moment we're living at my in-laws, which is great fun, by the way. Oh, yeah. I'd rather shit in my hands and clap, but yeah. No, I'm joking. They're so good.
I love all the Welsh sayings.
I was you putting that as a Welsh saying, are you? Rather shit in my hands and clap. I was going to say what you sent to me about sharing a van with me for a night, but I didn't read that one out.
It's weird that you didn't fancy losing followers and downloads.
No. I didn't actually know which way this conversation this evening was going to go. It could have gone one of two ways, into complete chaos and filth. I think we've kept it with some information in there, though. Actually,
yeah. So if anybody can take anything from this, it's buy fins.
Yeah. Well, actually, you've got quite a lot of other stuff on your website, haven't you, as well? The
I do.
art is really cool.
Yeah, that's Sammy Little. She's really nice as well, really cool. And so I bought a few pieces from her, and I'm just selling them on. My wife actually bought me one first, and I thought, I've got the new guy in town, and I absolutely love it. And I thought, oh man, if I like it, maybe someone else will like it. So I basically stock everything that I sort of want as a core surfer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, you stock the things you want, so you can use that as an excuse to have them yourself as well. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's like buying
nothing's
a gift
in stock. Because it's all in your wardrobe and stuff.
Yeah. So basically, it's like buying a gift for your wife. You always buy her like the Office USA box set, so you can watch it all. You know what I mean? You've got to whittle it in some way.
Yeah. Well, Leighton looked for a girlfriend that her birthday and their anniversary could be all on Christmas, so he could just buy one present.
Oh man,
that's called being efficient.
I call that having deep pockets and short arms.
That's me.
It's like a T-Rex.
It's so true.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, can you just tell everybody where's best to find you and your website and stuff, so that they can contact you to buy your fins? And we can't kind of recommend them enough. So what we've found on them so far is just made our already good boards even better, which we didn't think was possible, but obviously is. We've had such a good time with them, and we've only been out on a couple of times with them now. But like I was saying to you when we chatted before, that the surf I had at the Wave was probably the best session I've ever had at the Wave, and the only thing I've changed is your fin. So
that's awesome.
Really thank you for that.
You're more than welcome, both of you. It's that's why I do it, because I just you try and share that stoke sort of thing, don't you? And share your experience and your knowledge with other people, and it puts a smile on their face. You know?
Yeah. And this is what we found with surfers starting up their own brands and doing their own thing.
Yeah.
It comes from like a really honest place, really genuine place.
Exactly.
So I think other surfers will buy off of other surfers. Do you know what I mean? Like if they definitely can find them and they know what they're selling is genuine, then I think they like to give those people the money, because they know it goes back in to the surf community and not to some large, multinational brand. So
exactly, like it's basically like stumbling across a secret spot. You know what I mean? That's how I wanted it sort of to be portrayed. Sort of, you stumble along it, you're like, oh my god, this guy stocks really good fins and stuff, and gives good advice, and I just want to be as genuine and as transparent as I can, I just absolutely love it, you know what I mean? This is what I live for,
Yeah. And doing what you're doing by, not doing like a forced advertising thing and shoving it down people's throat, almost gives you like more credibility. Do you know what I mean?
Because
you're like, well, I don't need to do that. Yeah, you're like, I don't need to do that because I know my fins are good.
Exactly.
And if you want a good fin, then you can come to me. If you don't want to go a good fin, then go and buy one of the plastic ones.
That's it. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously the world at the moment is saturated with a lot of just everybody's just buying everything up, aren't they? These big companies are just buying everybody up. I think it's a shame because the local surf community is just being lost, really.
Yeah. Well, people like you are keeping it alive, really. Mm-hmm. So, and people listening, if they do want a decent fin, then definitely buy from you at Log Finco.
Thank you.
And support you and local surfers.
So what's the website address?
It's logfinco.co.uk. And you can
on Instagram, on Facebook, and everything.
You can shop on Instagram and Facebook. It's Log Finco. Check us out. Definitely.
That's okay, cool.
It's me that does literally everything. I pick. develop the website, at the start I tried to make it out. I know it's a bit of a white lie, but I tried to make it out it was bigger than it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I could get my name out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because it was just I was just getting literally, masked by these huge companies, and I didn't know what else to do. So I thought I'd use that tactic to my favor.
Make it.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what we're still doing.
Wow, and it works out at the end. You know what I mean? If you love something that much and you enjoy doing it, the hard work does pay off.
It
does. Really does. Yeah.
Well, I've got 3 questions for you that we often ask. First question: if you could only surf one place for the rest of your life, where would it be?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Isn't it?
I've never surfed abroad, so I've only ever surfed UK waters. I absolutely love Saunton.
That's good.
I absolutely love Saunton, and I've only been there twice.
Really?
So, next time you're down, let us know.
Tell us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So
and we'll go to Wales.
Yeah, you boys.
Have you been to the Bristol Wave yet?
I have not. No. I've.
I
know a lot of people that have been. Yeah. I'll have to check it out. I'm not against the wave pool or anything. I just like being in the ocean. It's the whole people watching me sort of thing. I'm not very good with crowds and stuff anyway. So,
I mean that's we find it is all of a sudden there's a little bit of pressure on you. You feel like you've got to perform. But if you go there and it's obviously quieter in the winter as well because it gets bloody cold in there. And then when you got a hood on, nobody knows who you are anyway.
No, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right there.
Just make sure you haven't got a bright red and black board that really stands out. So anywhere you go, someone recognises you.
Yeah, you'd look like a prick if you did that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Pete. I suffer really badly with anxiety and depression. Actually. I just want to touch on that if you guys don't mind.
No, of course,
that's fine.
I believe I'm a strong believer in talking up about it. Don't bottle it up because I bottled it up for it must have been 12 years or 13 years, and because I'm a man, I'm not allowed to cry. You know what I mean? It's that sort of mentality.
Yeah.
Whereas, and you go through stages of ups and downs. Like everybody, and to be honest with you, surfing has really saved me. That's
so good to hear.
Yeah, it's a lot more powerful than people know. You know what I mean? So and just talk about it. That's the hardest step is to admit that there is something wrong. Definitely. Yeah. So please, if anybody out there needs a chat, just give me a shout on Instagram, and I'll be there. I'll talk to you. No problem.
That's amazing, mate.
No
That's really good.
I'm
really pleased that surfing has helped you as well. Like we find that a lot through the podcasts that we've been doing, and we ran a competition last year, and the guy that won went through a similar thing. Like he was struggling as well, and surfing is what kind of gave him the ladder out of the hole that he was in. Do you know what I mean? That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
So and then what you end up doing, like you're doing now, is because you love surfing so much and it's helped you. Yeah. You end up starting a company to totally immerse yourself in it when you can't go surfing.
Exactly,
so you're always in it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a really good substitute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, anxiety, as you were saying, then is something I've suffered from myself in the past as well, and it's horrible. Like the feelings you can get from just out of nowhere, and I mean, I was suffering really. Like one of the kids used to take the mickey out of me, like for you're always scatting out when you cross the road, like you're like looking each way like that. So it's like anxiety of like being outside. And I cured that by going to LA and trying to cross a road there. That cured it straight away.
Really? Yeah. Right,
it's a nightmare.
Mental,
but it's one of those things. For years, I didn't even realise I had anxiety myself. And I can remember being out somewhere once and my wife saying to someone that like, we've come to the conclusion that Pete's got really bad anxiety. And I went mental because of that same thing you said of like being... I'm a man. You can't talk about things like that. And
can't be vulnerable.
You're not allowed to be vulnerable.
That same sort of thing. And it took a very long time to actually come to a realization that actually I did have anxiety about quite a lot of things, and a lot of it was sort of social anxiety as well, like being around people or being near people that I didn't know and stuff like that. And it manifests in a lot of different ways. And I think if you don't talk about it, it's something that can consume you completely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And make you extremely miserable, and you won't know why it's making you miserable. So as you said, just by talk to Log Finco, talk to us, talk to anybody if you're feeling like that.
Definitely.
Just make sure you do talk to someone.
Yeah, because the worst thing is that you don't talk to someone and then you go and do something silly. I've been in that situation. I've tried twice. I'll be honest with you guys. I've tried twice in front of my wife as well. So, she is a tough cookie. She's put up with some absolute shit from myself. It's and I'll never forgive myself for that. But at the same time, she's stuck with me, through thick and thin, and she's never deterred ever. So there's huge respect for her. Huge. I remember being sat in my own home, watching my kids and the wife at the table, and I felt like a ghost in my own house. That's when I knew I have to do something about this. I was just literally sat on the sofa crying, and I had no idea why I was crying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What helped you then out of that place?
I went for medical help, they gave me medication, but I had therapy with that medication, which made a huge difference. Having pills thrown at you is not the solution. You have to talk about it. Talking is such a powerful tool. And then obviously exercise as well. It's absolutely crazy how good exercise is for you. Because, I started this when we went into lockdown first of all. I started running. I had to do something just to keep my blood pumping, you know what I mean? Because we weren't allowed to surf, we could check webcams and stuff and it'd be pumping, but we just couldn't go. So I thought I have to do something about this. So I started running, and, I've run like serious distances as well, to the point where I actually broke my ankle.
just under the force of running.
Yeah. Stress fracture. Yeah.
So it's a lot of running.
So I did like 100-mile races and stuff like that in 4 days. Yeah. It's a bit silly now looking back, but it was something that occupied my mind. And then whilst I was running, I was obviously thinking about Log Finco and stuff like that, how I do things, and it just straightened out my mind, really, more than anything. Yeah. It just got rid of all the jumbled up crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And how much has surfing affected? How much does surfing affect your mental health? Sorry, what I'm trying to say is, how much does not surfing affect your mental health?
It does affect it, obviously, but now it's always good to have a backup, sort of. So I have running, myself, and I know that my friend Ant, he cycles a lot as well, so he has that sort of backup as well. Not that he suffers from mental health or anything, but because he can't sit still for 2 seconds, and he does not have an off switch. You know what I mean? Whereas,
and it's about being outside, isn't it? In nature, really. So when you're obviously not running on a treadmill, you're out, like, experiencing the world. So
like what I tend to do is just put headphones in and walk up a hill, even just listen to this podcast or anything else. You know what I mean? It's just get out of the four walls.
Definitely.
You can listen to this episode now and be a complete narcissist.
You could, on repeat.
But since lockdown, there's been a lot of this, isn't it? So I'm really, really pleased that you've said this, because you sound like a super happy guy, and that everything's going really well, and the company's doing well, and then for you to say that, and then people listening that might be feeling the same way, might be feeling, well, it's fine if this guy suffers from it as well. Look how happy he is.
Yeah, that's
then maybe it's not that bad that I feel like it, and he's clearly like coming out the other side, and look how good his life seems now.
It's only a chemical imbalance in your brain. That's all it is. That's what I've been told anyway. They could be selling me a completely wrong thing, but
no, that's what I've been told that before as well.
It's only a chemical imbalance. So it's it's, you can get through it. It's not the end. It's not the end at all. You just have to go for the right help for yourself. Everybody is completely different.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think if you've got depression or anxiety or any sort of mental disorder that you're going to be that stereotypical downtrodden, miserable.
Yeah,
that it's a very serious conversation. It's still got that stigma around it. It's very serious, and you can't talk about it. Whereas we've just had a laugh for like 40 minutes, chatting about everything, and then brought it onto this situation. And yes, the conversation has gone more serious because it is a serious subject, and there's people out there that do suffer and will need help.
Of course.
And as we've said, talk to someone. But you can still be yourself, and you can still have that lightheartedness about you.
Definitely. A lot of people, like myself, I actually hide behind the sort of fun and the jokes and stuff like that. Like today, I've had a pretty good day, but I don't know what will happen tomorrow. You know what I mean? I could wake up and it's like someone sitting on your chest, not in a good way, obviously, but someone is sitting, if that's what you're into, sitting on your chest, and you cannot get up. That's how it feels. That's how depression feels. Is you just can't move. It's like you're just paralyzed in your own body, sort of thing. It's horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
And it does consume people.
Well, it sounds like you've got a fantastic wife there that supports you, and you sound like you've got a nice family and stuff. So
and like the surf community as well. It's unbelievable. It really is. Like the surf community it's epic. Actually, it's part of my sort of my group. You know what I mean? It's just it's my therapy.
Your support network. Yeah,
exactly. So that's good. Yeah, it is.
I think we've said it before. It's just like it's like a tribe, isn't it? People.
Oh, it really is. Yeah.
And then when you're a UK surfer as well, I don't know. It seems a bit more special because we all have to deal with not great waves and freezing cold water, and that just seems to bind people together a little bit stronger.
And the other thing is about the UK, a lot of the surfers are friendlier to each other than I've heard of stories all around the world.
Well, that's that bond, isn't it? And like we've said like numerous times with surfers starting up like little companies and things like that. These are the people we would like to talk to because they're passionate people and they're UK based, and they just want to be totally immersed in this life. So
we're real and genuine people. We're not just someone who's employed to answer emails back or customer service. I answer everything, all emails, the lot. No one else does it. It's just myself, and I think people don't realize that it's just me. I'm the one who takes your order, packs it, posts it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I developed the website and everything. It's just it's like you say. That's so cool. It's a good focus as well. Really good focus.
Sounds like me with this thing, mate.
Yeah.
Oh god. Honestly, it's every episode he complains about me not doing anything.
Do you know what? He started doing the write-ups now. Well, he sends them over in crayon, but apart from that,
on a pigeon.
It's done, isn't it?
Yeah. The episode came out last year, mate. Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but no, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and your knowledge on fins has, expanded our knowledge on fins now. No, it's been brilliant, and even talking, having the bravery to talk about the mental health stuff, because that isn't something that everybody wants to talk about or talk about. But
and it's really, really nice for listeners to hear that you're just at the other end of an email or a DM on Instagram for you to talk either about fins or about mental health and helping people. So that's such a cool thing to say, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, no, more than happy to help anybody.
Thanks for that, Chris. Lovely guy.
What a guy.
Yeah, lovely guy.
We shut the interview off, and I think we spoke for about 10 minute before, but I think we spoke for about bloody 20 or 30 minutes afterwards as well, just chatting. Real nice guy, on our wavelength, I feel like we made a friend there, like a proper friend as well.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to surfing with him. I hope that actually happens because he seems like a really lovely bloke.
A real nice guy. Yeah,
it doesn't sound like he's 34. So I was going to say like 16.
Yeah, 16, the Welsh wonder.
Yeah, but great guy. Fins, cannot recommend them enough.
Those fins are fantastic. I mean, like I was saying in that, I put the fin on first of all when I had it too far back and I pushed it forwards, and the difference, the whole board just locked into the wave, and it was like solid. Yeah,
and with our new boards as well, it's just like made really, really amazing boards, like that much better. And I just didn't think a fin would do that.
Yeah, no, neither did I. Do you know all we need to get now for those boards and fins are some good surfers to ride them? Like, if we gave our boards to someone really good, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, look, you can do this." Be like, sat on the shore going, "Prick."
Yeah, I love them, and they just look beautiful as well.
Like it looks like he's picked the fins out to match the boards.
I think he must have. I think he must have done that.
Yeah.
So, I look through his website quite a lot and like a bit of fin porn. Like,
fawn. Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed that episode. It was absolute pleasure to record, and he's such a lovely guy. So go across to Log Finco and check that out. While you're there, if you do fancy buying something, use the code the UK Surf Show 10. And that will get you 10% off anything you order.
Or head over to North Court and get 15% off your purchase if you use the discount code SURFSHOW, but that ends on the 30th of September 2021. And then the discount code is going to change to SS 2021 from the 1st of October to the 31st of December. So be aware of those codes because they're changing right as this one comes out.
And don't forget that code for Cosin again is UK Surf 10.
Yeah, so we'll see you next time with...
Dunno. Cheers.
Thanks, bye.